Hey there, what is up you guys? I am Jerry and welcome back to the channel, The Chicago Griller. This is the show where I share my favorite tips, tricks, and recipes for the Weber Q. If you think that I could help you out, hit the like button and subscribe. Today I'll be baking some bread, beer bread. Now, if you're anything like myself, you probably don't consider yourself much of a baker. But I assure you that this recipe is so easy and so adaptable and takes on so many different flavors, you'll want to try this out for yourself. For our beer bread recipe, begin with 2 1/2 cups of ordinary flour in a medium-sized mixing bowl. From here, you are going to want to add 3 teaspoons of baking powder. Then follow that up with about 1 teaspoon of salt. What we've essentially done with these 3 ingredients is we've made our own self-rising flour. Self-rising flour is pretty readily available in grocery stores, but if you don't have it at home like me, you can easily make it with these 3 ingredients. So now to my flour mixture, I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of sugar. And because this is beer bread, I'm going to follow that up with some beer. I'm using Spotted Cow Farmhouse Ale from a brewery up in Wisconsin. Truth be told, it really doesn't matter what kind of beer you use because the flavors don't carry over very strongly into the bread. We're just really using it for the moisture and the yeast to help the bread rise. The only real advice is avoid anything overly hoppy because they can get very bitter during the baking process. So that's really all you need for beer bread, but let's stack on some flavors. First is a bit of a secret ingredient, and that would be some dried cream of mushroom soup, about 2 to 3 teaspoons. It adds a nice richness and umami to your bread. Anyways, next up, some additional seasonings, and today I'm using an Herbes de Provence mix. Italian seasoning works just as well, about 1 to 2 teaspoons of this as well. And finally, the last ingredient I'm going to add today is some freshly ground pepper. Now, grab a plastic spatula and mix this doughy mixture all together. Now, obviously with the beer, it starts off very liquidy, but as you mix, this mixture will get clumpier and stickier and gooier, which is exactly what you need and what you're looking for. And the consistency that you now see in my video here is exactly what you're looking for. So at this point, let's transfer this over to a bread baking pan. Prepare the pan by spraying it with some nonstick spray. Some melted butter rubbed all along the sides would work just as well. Then spoon that beer bread mixture into your bread pan. It doesn't have to be perfect and it doesn't have to be even right now, just get it in there. And now for one final step before we get to baking, we want to melt some butter and use a basting brush and baste that over the top of your bread dough in the bread pan. This will crisp up the top nicely. Once you're set, it's time to bake. So today, I am going to be using my Weber Q2000 as an oven. It has been preheating this entire time that I've been prepping the dough. And as you can see, I've also been preheating it with an aluminum foil shield and a roasting rack. Place your bread pan on the center of your roasting rack. Don't skip the foil and the rack. This is what's needed to prevent the bottom of your bread from burning. Anyways, shut the lid and let this bake. We will be baking this at about 375 degrees Fahrenheit or 190 degrees Celsius. For me, that's about medium-low on my Weber Q. While we wait, let's crack open a beer. Today, I'm drinking Oktoberfest from Goose Island Beer Company, a brewery here in Chicago. Cheers to nice fall weather, and cheers to great YouTube friends. After about 45 to 50 minutes, it's time to check on your bread. Open up the lid and you'll see the bread has risen nicely, but the true test of doneness is to grab a butter knife and just poke it right down the middle. Withdraw the knife, and if it comes out clean, your bread is done and ready. So now with grill gloves or an oven mitt, pull your bread off of the grill. I'm going to get this inside and out of the pan and show you what this looks like. So check this out. Isn't this one beautiful loaf of bread? Some golden crisp on the edges, and it's nice and firm up top too. And now let's go and cut off a couple of slices to show you what this looks like. So check that out. And as you can see, this is a softer bread, not a hard rustic bread like Italian bread, if that's what you prefer. All that said, how did this turn out? Now there's nothing quite like fresh baked bread, now is there? But let's give this a try. So as I said, it is so moist and so delicious. You know, the cream of mushroom soup and the mixed herbs really take this up another notch. This recipe is really delicious as is, but as I said before, it can take on a lot of great flavors. It just depends on what you want to put inside of it. For example, I could see this being really delicious if you were to throw some shredded cheese and some bacon bits in it. Anyways, let me know in the comments section down below how you plan on experimenting with your beer bread. Thank you as always for watching today. If you enjoyed the content on the show, as usual, hit that like button and subscribe. And I can't wait to join you all again next week for a great new episode. Bye now.